Welcome friends, welcome back to Carrie's Kitchen. On the menu tonight is baked spaghetti. So when you think of comfort food, to my mind comes baked spaghetti. I grew up eating this. My mom made this all the time when we were kids. It feeds a lot of people. It's super easy. It freezes easy. It's a really great meal to have on your playlist on repeat. So let's get started. I'll show you how to make it. So on the stove over here I have a 1.5 pounds of just regular hamburger that I fried up. It's all browned, no more pink left. So at this point I'm going to add some garlic. If you have fresh garlic, that's great. Do a couple cloves of garlic. If you have the fresh or just the minced garlic, do a tablespoon. And then to that I'm going to add onions and celery. I might not add all this onion, it actually is quite a bit. So probably one small onion or half a big one will do. And then 2 stalks of celery. And I only had 1 stalk left because we've been feeding them to the guinea pigs because we ran out of food. So, but 2 stalks of celery. And we're going to cook that down, let the onions and the garlic and the celery, we're going to let that all cook down. Okay, so I am cooking down the onions and celery, and so they've cooked down, the garlic is fragrant. So I'm going to go ahead and start making the sauce portion of baked spaghetti. So to the hamburger, we're going to add 1 can of diced tomatoes with the juice. Then we're going to add 2 cans of tomato soup. This is a really good recipe. I'm just showing you the Italian version of it, but you also could modify it. You could also make a Tex-Mex version or even a pizza version and put pepperoni over on the top of it. It really is one of those meals that you can do a lot of different things with it. That's why I think I like it so much, and it's one of our family's favorites. It's kid-friendly, family-approved, and it freezes really well. So if you buy one of those aluminum tin pans from the dollar store and cook it, bake it, do everything, put aluminum foil on it and freeze it, it will freeze really well in the freezer too, so you can pull it out one night, make it. It's also a really great dish if you want to give it away to somebody. You could, if somebody's had a baby or had surgery, or just because everybody loves a home-cooked meal delivered to them, right? So we're going to bring this kind of up to a bubble. We're going to let the sauce bubble away. I'm going to add a little salt and some garlic powder. Oh, Sophie, we'll be with you in just a moment.
Your video will take so long.
No, it won't. It's a
yes,
short
it
one.
will.
A little onion powder.
We don't have school today, and so that's what we do.
And a little Italian seasoning. And I'd say to your liking. Season it to your liking, to your taste. And then a little pepper. I'm going to turn the heat up just a little bit to get it going, to get it cooking. And then at this point I'm going to add a little water too, because right now it's pretty thick and kind of chunky looking. And I want it to have a little bit more of a sauce. So I saved some of the pasta water because I boiled about 1.5 pounds of just regular spaghetti noodles. I saved about a cup of the water from the pasta noodles. And again, we're going to put that in. Got a couple noodles in there, but that's okay. So we're going to bring this to a boil. Let this simmer away, and that pasta water will make it nice and thick and flavorful. And you just want it at the consistency where it'll be a nice sauce, not too wet, but not too chunky either. You want a nice sauce to coat the noodles. So we're going to let this cook away. And like I said, I already boiled the noodles. Sophie's testing them out. I drained them and I put them in this casserole dish. It's a regular sized baking dish, casserole dish. I laid them in there and I put a little bit of olive oil over them just so they don't dry out while we're waiting. So that's on board. And then So we're just gonna wait and let that cook, and then we'll come back and we'll put it all together. And we're back. See, the sauce is nice and bubbly. That's what we're looking for. It's thickened slightly. And so at this point, if you've seen my videos before, anything with tomato in it, I always like to put a little sugar in. Not much, like maybe a tablespoon or so, and it just cuts some of the acid from the tomatoes. It's a trick my mom did whenever she cooked anything with tomatoes. So at this point, we're going to turn it off. And again, you can modify this sauce to your liking. You can add more, you can take away more, but don't skimp on the celery. The celery is what gives it that extra flavor and texture, and you'll really enjoy it. So over on the counter here, we have the noodles. And so I'm just going to pour the sauce over it, like so. And then we're just going to mix the noodles and the sauce together. I might need to use some tongs, I don't know, we'll see. And so at this point too, if you're mixing it up and it looks a little dry, you can always just add a little bit more water. Because those noodles will absorb some of that water and that sauce, so you don't want it too dry. So you just try to fold in the meat mixture and the sauce, and it will bake in the oven and cook some more. And when you boil the noodles, tip also, don't overboil them, because this bakes in the oven also, so you don't want mushy noodles. So got it mixed up enough. Now we're going to put cheese. I have mozzarella and cheddar here. It's a mixture. You can do just mozzarella or just cheddar. I didn't have enough mozzarella, so I added some of the orange stuff in there too. And we like a lot of cheese, so I'm just going to load it up. Load it up on here. And again, at this point, if you're doing more of a pizza version, you could put pepperoni pieces on top here and put more of the pizza seasonings in the sauce and make it more like a pizza version.
Probably put like Italian sausage.
Yeah, you could use Italian sausage instead of hamburger, or do a mixture. Or like I said, a Tex-Mex too, using taco sauce with the hamburger instead of the classic Italian seasoning. So you wrap it with aluminum foil. We're going to bake it in the oven at 350 for about a half an hour. And then after half an hour, you take the aluminum foil off, put it in the oven for another 15 minutes so that cheese gets all bubbly and melted over the top. And then it's time to eat. So, just going to put that in there. And we will see you back in about 45 minutes. Guys, I just wanted to show you what we're going to have right along with the baked spaghetti. So I'm making garlic bread, and we love to use these ciabatta buns that you can get at the grocery store. This one is a herb ciabatta bun, and they're excellent to make garlic bread. So all you do is you cut them in half, and you put some butter or oil down in the pan, and then you place them down.
I'm hungry.
And they get nice and brown like that, and all that butter and oil is soaked up in there, and they get nice and golden and crispy like garlic bread. And they have all different flavors and different kinds you can get at the store. They get plain ones, but we like this herb one for the garlic bread. And so all that butter and stuff is in there, and then I use garlic powder. And do I use garlic powder? Or do we use garlic salt?
Garlic powder is fine.
Okay, I can't remember now that I'm doing this. So, I don't know, I think we use garlic salt, but I think garlic powder is good too. And then a little Italian seasoning. I put a little bit of that on top. And then there you have the garlic bread out of those ciabatta buns. And they're super good. They're soft, doughy, but crispy. You can hear that crisp. They're hot, but super good. And so that's what I'm going to do over here. I'm just going to put a little bit more butter in this pan. It's pretty hot. I'm going to turn it down. Cast iron's hot. And then so you just cut them. See how holy they are? Yummy. And then you put them down and let that surface area soak up that oil and butter. Let those brown, and again, we'll just repeat with garlic salt or garlic powder and Italian seasoning, and you've got yourself some homemade garlic bread. If you don't have any in the freezer, this is a really good option. We don't even really do the frozen stuff anymore, do we? We usually just do this. Or another option, if you don't have any ciabatta buns, just take toast. If you've got bread, everybody should have bread, toast it and butter it, and then put the same seasonings on. Garlic, salt, Italian seasoning, and then you have like garlic toast. So a couple different ways, couple different options for you guys to do garlic bread. Okay, baked spaghetti is done. It's nice and bubbly around the edges, as you see. The cheese is nice and melted. The sauce has thickened, and that looks amazing. And then we have our ciabatta buns that we made into garlic bread. And with these too, we have fresh Parmesan. You could also shred some Parmesan over these and let that kind of melt over the garlic bread. That'd be super yummy. So I'm going to dish this up and show you what we're having for dinner tonight here. So you just cut out a little scoop of it, and then you put it on the plate, get all that good stuff under there. And then I always like to put a little olive oil, extra virgin olive oil, do a little swoosh of it. Put some fresh Parmesan, shred a little bit of that on top, and let that melt over. And then we have that basil plant, so I'm just going to do a couple sprigs. Love that. And then a side of garlic bread. And there's dinner, guys. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I hope you try it. And please like and comment and subscribe to our YouTube channel. That would help us out a lot. And keep cooking. Thanks, guys.